You through the mid-morning hours.
The Weather Channel is helping you plan for the big events ahead and just more storms lightening up the sky for sure.
What a night yesterday. So much hailstorms. And you can see some of the storms here really building high into the sky. This is a really neat vantage point. This is Florida, and you can see the constant lightning and also just the big plumes of cloud out there.
Exactly. And they had really large hail across Florida as well. And the peninsula, they usually don't get that large of hail across the peninsula.
We'll talk about what happened, also show you where it could happen again today. And then we got to look at the temperature side of the story because temperatures are changing, cooling down over a lot of the east, but really heating up in the west in spots where, well, we have a little fog this morning, San Francisco. Carl the Fog, here you go. Good morning. But we also have some snowpack that will be melting, and that's also a problem.
Yeah, so kind of getting a switch in the action. You have the ridge now building out west, and that's going to cause a problem for sure.
And it's also that time of year when we head into our gardens in the backyard, and we've got Farmer Froberg on the show today.
That's exciting. So stormy times take root in today's big deal. The stage is set, if you will, Jen.
I mean, the weather is just going to be yuck for the next couple of days. Cold and raw days are on the way for the Midwest. Alliance, Nebraska, we're looking at you. You see these gray clouds hanging over. That's not changing. Covington in Kentucky, looking over at Cincinnati, also expect the rainy, windy, a little chilly out there. Really just all around nasty kind of weather. The kind of weather we describe as miserable. So just let that describe the weather, not you. We got to look for some sunshine in this forecast. There's not going to be a lot of actual sunshine. You're going to have to make your own. We've got rain and more rain along with windy conditions coming our way, plus cooler temperatures. Couple of systems that we got to watch getting into the end of the week. It's just a really busy pattern. It's very full, actually, when it comes to the systems that'll be tracking through the eastern half of the country. Now, today, we may see some thunderstorms out there, possibility of some severe weather. We're going to keep an eye on western Nebraska. Mentioned Alliance. It's, watching western Nebraska is just one spot. And we will see some showers building all across this region. Big dip in the jet stream, a trough coming in, the front coming in with it. That actually is what brings in the cooler temperatures that spread and get stuck. Because what happens to this big trough or upper level low, it turns into right here, it gets stuck over parts of the Great Lakes, and we're affected by this really through the weekend into at least the middle of next week across the Great Lakes and the Northeast. For us here in the plains, what's going to happen is a little bit of rain, and then we'll get the cooler temperatures in place. For us in the Northeast, we get the rain, and then we get a break, and then we get more rain, and then we get a break, and then we get more, and it's just a very unsettled pattern. You see that on Thursday. First round coming up from the south, second round with that upper level low digging in and just sticking around for the weekend. Look at that into Sunday, into Monday, into Tuesday. Lynette, this is a rinse and repeat kind of pattern.
It is, Jen. So we're definitely going to need to plan.
Snack. Well, thank you all for participating in that. That was fun. And break out the road trip snacks. We're going to continue highlighting National Parks Week, showing you some of the best parks for a scenic drive.
Actually do it for, like a concert or something. I think I might do something like historical or something, like maybe an inauguration. I might do something.
You would stand out in bad weather for that. Remember back in the day, like having to stand out for tickets, not even just the show itself, having to wait in bad weather for tickets. Heating up. It's going to stay hot in the west with temperatures steadily climbing above average. So let's look at one of the examples. Phoenix is a good one to show you just how hot it gets this weekend. We haven't hit 100 yet this year. It's a little early, actually, but we are going up there and seeing those temperatures rise about 10 degrees above average. Friday, Saturday, 98 degrees. The average this time of year is upper 80s, maybe near 90. Then we go to 102 on Sunday. Then on Monday, we're still warm, but we're looking at 97 degrees. Let's look at some other spots out there that are going to be heating up, like how about Vegas, where temperatures here are going above average. Saturday, we feel it, 97. Then we go to 98 on Sunday. Monday, we cool down a little bit, but it's still 90, which it's not too far from our average. So the heat is on, and it's a big story. It's part of the reason why Yosemite is closing as we look at that forecast into your Friday, because we've got a flood watch up with the rain, or not the rain, excuse me, with the snow melting. We are looking at that concern for flooding, and that's the reason why they are shutting down the park on Friday. Now, the temperatures are really going to be warming, so we think that melting is going to be accelerated. The reason why this is happening is because we have a big ridge of high pressure. High pressure aloft and at the surface, which is going to mean sunshine and lots of it. Temperatures running about 15 to 25 degrees above average. That builds this weekend down into the southwest, so the heat continues to build. Temperatures soaring above average down there in Arizona, down in Indio, California, where Stagecoach is happening this weekend. It's going to be hot and hot and hot. Now, records could be falling, and we'll have to watch that all the way from Washington, Oregon, down through California, especially in the Central Valley. That continues continues tomorrow. We'll see that risk for those record high readings coming in. Places like Sacramento going to 92. That would be flirting with a record there within a degree anyway. Bakersfield within coming 1 degree above at 98. The record to beat is 97. Saturday, more records, especially the Central Valley, going to be some of those hot spots out there. Mid to upper 90s continue. And Phoenix, yes, we've got heat. 102 the forecast on Sunday, and that would tie a record high. Not everyone's going to be this hot, though.
For sure. Is planting seeds of wisdom for gardeners of all skill levels.
Friend of the show, farmer Tyler Froberg, joins us now this morning. Good to see you. And you always have some great tips for gardening. And look, it's late April. Usually an ideal time to start getting seeds in the ground, but we've been seeing temperatures go up and down all month long. Is it safe to start planting?
So this is a great question. And of course,
Farmer Froberg, thank you for joining us. And for the birds back there providing that soundtrack, they're so chirpy this morning. Thank you so much for joining us, as always, here on the show.
Tips.
Sunken Gardens looks so cool.
Beautiful.
I love a botanical garden.
Yes, and the forecast for today, if you're going, not looking bad. A mix of sun and clouds with that temperature low 70s.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. Well, my pick city today, weather not quite. I know. Don't you want to go? I'm going Sunday.
Oh, nice.
And look at Sunday's forecast. So it's all about, the walk-in, the tailgating that's going to be affecting your weather here. And again, no big umbrellas. Temps on Friday, warm. Saturday, kind of hot, 80 degrees. Yeah, so you're doing fine. Sunday's forecast, a little iffy with those thunderstorms.
It's going to be great nonetheless, though.
The show is going to be great, yeah. Well, we're asking you in our question of the tough weather out there. So we'll have to see, we'll have to look up and see what fans did with that. Mark said this.
Again, for me, it would be more like historical type thing, but if it's going to be a performer, it'd have to be a big performer, like Michael Jackson if he was still alive, something like that,
I think the weather, though, can just be so much a part of the story, and I don't mind if it's bad. I mean, I would love good weather for outdoor shows, but then it just becomes the story you tell after the show.
I like the spin you put on that.
Yeah.
All right.
Meteorologist and me.
Exactly. Let's take a look at some active weather right now.
Morning headquarters to get you through the mid-morning hours.
The Weather Channel is helping you plan for the big events ahead. And, we had the severe weather yesterday. We have it again for today. But I think the biggest thing yesterday with the severe weather is the hail that was over Florida.
We had a total of 76 hail reports, 16 of them with the really big, damaging, significant hail, and about half of them was Florida. We can see actually what it looked like from space. This is from a satellite picture. And those big flare-ups of white, those are the big, tall cumulonimbus clouds building so high in the sky, the ones that support the big hail.
Yeah, and I know maybe some people are thinking like, okay, you guys had hail in Florida, but usually the peninsula doesn't get that large of hail.
Yeah. So this was really unusual.
Right.
And we're going to do it again today, though. So we'll talk about this Florida forecast. Back to Texas, too, because more hail is possible there. We're also going to be watching the temp changes coming. San Francisco, good morning to you. Oh, that's a little bit of fog out there over the Golden Gate.
Pretty shot, though. Yeah.
Yes. Well, temperatures are going to be heating up in the west, maybe even record-breaking. So we're going to talk about the issues that is causing for us in the west.
Yeah, so we're going to get a little bit of a flippity-flop. So we're going to have more of a ridge out west, the trough out off towards the east. So we'll talk about the stormy times that are going to be taking root for today. So that's today's big deal. We're going to set the stage.